you deny me. Losing this game, I can't afford to be losing this game. And I know it deserves respect. Losing my mind, can't find the words, no, I can't seem to find what I'm really trying to get. Reason right, let's take our time and choose. Whether we green or yellow, whether we deep or shallow. Please me now, cause we're about to lose. Whether we buy or hello, whether we step or jello. I got room and make amends, but can't go through the same regrets. It could feel so good on mine. Not about love, again. And I know it deserves respect. Deep or shallow, please me now, cause we're about to lose. Whether we buy or hello, whether we step or jello.
I love to wake up in the morning, but keep dreaming without wording. The day is gone. And sometimes I take a walk, but I forget about the clock. I can slow down. My friends are sitting laughing, but I just keep on rapping. They're knocking on my door, but I'm knocking them down. They say I'm acting crazy, but I just wanna lie in the sun. Whoa, lie in the sun. Now I've been to many places and won so many races. I was a child, yeah. But now my only win is now and
That's Jim. Oh, hi.
Good morning and good afternoon and good evening. Quite frankly, the whole spectrum. We could just say good day, right, Ben? Like it's, you just your people had it all figured out. Hey, welcome to Sojourn Grace Collective, a progressive Christian church located geographically in San Diego, but broadcasts to the world.
The world.
I'm Colby. This is Kate. We are the
And this is
co-pastors of
the
this.
box of donuts.
Munch, munch, munch. Brought to us by.
Karen's parents are in the house.
Karen's parents are literally on the other side of the camera. Maybe we can coax them at some point on this side, but we'll see. We'll see, or not. That's fine. Hey, this is we are a community of folks who are organized around these ideas and these values of moving towards wholeness in our life. Spiritual wholeness, social wholeness, emotional wholeness, and we like to get together on Sunday mornings here virtually, as we've been doing now for 2 years since the pandemic has hit us. And we have some people joining us for the first time live. Hello, good morning. We're so glad you're here. And if you have, we also have a lot of people who watch on Sunday mornings that don't ever comment. And you're obviously more than welcome to never comment. You can just sort of safely watch behind your keyboard and or phone. But also, if you want to, say hi for the first time. You're also safe here to participate in that way as well. We got some amazing music coming at us this morning.
Yeah, I might need to step out for a bit, actually. It's a little much this
As you
morning.
grab the box of donuts.
I know. Cry in my donut box. The songs that were picked this morning, people.
Some good stuff. Good stuff.
Hi, Robert. Hi, Nickel.
Hello,
fam.
Nickel fam. All right, let's get into it. We got some music. We got some collective conversation. I've got an exciting new method of sharing some thoughts today that I think is going to work.
Oh, boy.
I'm really excited about it.
Love y'all.
All
Really
that
glad
and
you're here.
more. Sojourn Grace. Welcome.
That was such a mysterious teaser. Like, is it a method of sharing thoughts that's not speaking them? Because that's fascinating. Y'all, we only chose songs today that make us cry, so if you are the praying type, maybe do that for us.
Haven't always been this way. Wasn't born a renegade. I felt alone, still feel afraid, but I stumbled through it anyway. I wish someone would have told me that this life is ours to choose. No one's handing you the keys or a book with all the rules. The little that I know I'll tell you. When they dress you up in lies and you're left naked with the truth, you throw your head back, you spin in the wind, let the walls crack. 'Cause let the light in, let them drag you through hell. They can't tell you to change who you are. That's all I know so far. When the storm's out, you run in the rain, put your sword down, dive right into the pain. Stay unfiltered and loud, you'll be proud of that skin full of scars. That's all I know so far. That's all I know so far. So you might give yourself away, pay full price for each mistake. When the candy coating hides a razor blade, you can cut yourself loose and use that rage. I wish someone would have told me that the darkness comes and goes. People will pretend, but baby girl, nobody knows. Even I can't teach you how to fly, but I can show you how to live like your life is on the line. Throw your head back, spin in the wind, let the walls crack. 'Cause that's the light in, let them drag you through hell. They can't tell you to change who you are. That's all I know so far. When the storm's out, run in the rain, push your sword down,
to bed, everybody. Just kidding. We're awake now.
I put a sweater on because I was like feeling a little chilly. Now after that song, I'm just like, whew, all right.
Are we just continuing singing? Is that what
I
we're
think
doing?
we're going to be welcoming and talking to people and saying, welcome, you're in this space.
Welcome.
And you made it. There's no
did.
requirements.
Is that what we're
There's
doing?
no statement that you need to agree to. There's nothing you need to do or say or be. You're just here, and you are. So welcome. You're part of this thing. Congratulations.
That's very true.
That's about as
truest
strange
of
as I can
true.
be, I think, this morning. We're going to sing this next song because a great member of the country music industry died this week, and it's linked to this song. So we thought we'd pay respects to Nami Judd.
All the colors of the rainbow, all the voices of the wind, every dream that reaches out, it reaches out to find where love begins. And every word of every story, every scar in every sky, every corner of creation lives to testify. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. I'll be a witness in the silences when words are not enough. And with every breath I take, I will give thanks to God above. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. Mountains to the valleys, from the rivers to the sea, every hand that reaches out, every hand that reaches out to offer peace, every simple act of mercy, every step to kingdom come, and all the hope in every heart will speak what love has done. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. I'll be a witness in the silences when words are not enough. And with every breath I take, I will give thanks to God above. For as long as I shall live, I will testify. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. I'll be a witness in the silences when words are not enough. And with every breath I take, I will give thanks to God above. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. I'll be a witness in the silences when words are not enough. And with every breath I take, I will give thanks to God above. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love.
Oh, you're wonderful. Hey, Karen, where should we begin?
I see what you did there. You quoted the name of this game by Esther Perel called Where Should We Begin? That's cute. That's cute how you did that. We should
you
look,
guys.
we should begin here.
We should begin. But not with the pink ones,
Not with
because
the pink
they are
ones.
very sexual.
They're not safe for work. Suitable for work? Safe for work. Which one is it? Sensible for work?
No, definitely not the right S word.
This is such an appropriate question for me for this particular week of my life. Something I wish I had been told as a child. ...
This is fun.
Parents are here.
Your parents are on the edge of their seat.
We're writing a children's television show telling small children things. So, like, if y'all could answer this for me, that would be great. Something I wish I had been told as a child.
I mean, where babies come from?
You don't like to stalk me?
I just think someone probably should have mentioned it.
Thanks,
That's
Bridget.
all.
Thanks, Jazz. Y'all are being really nice to me, which is lovely.
I know she
It's
does
also
look
really
absolutely
lovely way to
on
answer
fire
questions.
this morning.
Sheesh, everybody. Keep your apple stock for a few more years, says my dad.
Matthew, this is your response to the
You had
question,
apple
right?
stock as a child? That's amazing.
That's your response to the question, right? You're good to your core. You wish you'd been told that.
Also, I'm just telling everyone that, but yes.
Yes, both. I figured it was a both.
Yeah.
Lisa says you can't earn love.
For some reason, I
Wait,
wanted
is
to
this
sing, like,
Tom's answer to it?
Yeah.
Keep your apple stock right next to it. That's
Oh, I
amazing.
love Robert.
Good.
Yeah.
Wait,
Oh,
where's
this is
Robert?
Great.
Should have been told. Oh,
Oh,
stay
stay
unfiltered and loud. You'll be proud of that skin full of scars.
Yeah, it's a good one.
This life is yours to choose. No
Yes,
one's
Jazz.
handing you the
Yes.
keys.
Wouldn't that
or-
have been nice to hear?
Man, yeah, especially if you were like a child in the 80s and 90s. All bodies are good bodies is a
So, Summer, I love this. And also, I was told that in words.
yeah.
And then nothing else added up. That not everybody gets the love story in the Disney movies and the country songs.
I wish I'd been told about rent and finance sooner. Seriously though, I think that's real. And how credit works, I think is a big one that no one
About algebra. and
like
how to-
everybody gets your like you can apply for a credit card at 18, but no one teaches high schoolers like how credit works. You're just like, here's money. Good luck.
I'm with you, Crystal. This is what my face does. So, you guys, anybody die this week? And then everybody just stops and walks away. I don't know how to talk about the things that people talk about, the normal things.
That's okay. We like that. We like that about you.
Do you?
I mean, most of the time, yes. Almost always.
Oh, I love this, Alyssa. Teacher Alyssa. Adults are really as clueless, if not more, than kids are.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
People are on this today. They've
Yeah.
got the
No
answers to it.
kidding.
You guys have all been doing your inner child work.
Yeah.
And it shows. Y'all are.
Papa Tom for the win this morning.
In recent news, my parents will be leaving very shortly. Oh my gosh. Touche. No, that's true. Here's the thing. I was told most of these things as a child. I was a very well-informed child, and I'm struggling to answer this question because
Are ya?
I was told many useful things as a child.
Many of the things. were
Yeah,
told to you.
I really was. I had a lot of adults who told me things often. It took a lot to write me letters and take me on walks and explain how things work and all of that stuff, which is really nice.
I wish I was told, like, taught about bias and prejudice and that entire experience out in the world in any way. And that affected my life personally. And so things I would experience so that I'd have that filter, to be like, oh, that's what was happening. I think I was probably like 34 before I was able to realize that certain things were that,
Yeah, I wish I was. So many values. I wish I was. I had one, and then it just like flew out of my brain because Robert made me laugh. I blame you, Robert. I wish I was told. I wish I was told by my friends, especially when I was in high school, and I was the obnoxious youth group kid who would have sung worship songs on the airplane. Like that was me for sure. The one who was like, I will take up space with my mission and my witness. And I wish that my friends, who were not of this same same bent, had been like, Karen, stop doing this, instead of just being like, well, we love her anyway, and like we'll give her space.
Do you
I
think
wish
you
that-
would have heard that?
No, but I wish they would have told me. Like maybe if they
still
told me
shouldn't
enough
have been told.
times, it would have stuck. I just wish they would have
Yeah.
said, hey, this is annoying what you're doing, because I deserve to hear it. These are great. Should we
These
find
are
another
all
one
great.
too?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
do it.
Oh, this is a good one too.
I
I like these so much today.
Oh, I love this one. Today, I care a lot less about? What do you care a lot less about today than you used to?
Whether or not people see me without my makeup and hair done. For sure. Who has time to care? We had a pandemic.
Wait, Vicky, is this what you wish you would have been told when you were a kid?
Can we make t-shirts?
That's amazing. What did you say? Being seen without makeup?
Without makeup
with
and hair.
done?
Like, people want to come over when I just woke up. It's fine.
Did you pull it in that question?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't.
Benjamin.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Something I care a lot less about.
Today I care a lot less about ...
You are my hero. That's all it ever takes. You know this, Colby Martin. That's all it takes. What is with these men thinking they need to do so much to impress us? And I'm just like, you brought me coffee.
It's the easiest thing in the
Hero.
world. Yep. Is this
Anyway.
a sandwich?
This is a rant I want to go on, but we should talk about the actual
Conforming.
question.
Yes. Crystal.
Less about literally everything. Except for not everything.
Matthew cares less about literally everything except not everything.
I realized how that sounded.
I care a lot less about being liked by people that I don't
Same,
like.
Alyssa. Same. I will never forget the day that my therapist pointed out what an insane perfectionist I am, because I had this idea in my head that perfectionists are the people whose house is always clean and everything's orderly. Like I had a weird stereotype in my head, and she unlocked that chamber for me, and suddenly my entire life made sense. And then it was doomsday from there. Like, oh. You know that moment when you learn something about yourself?
These
that
are
hurts?
really good.
Getting other people to think, believe exactly as I do.
Oh, Mom's got one. What do you got, Mom?
Feeling like I have to say yes to everything everyone asks me to do.
You don't make me cry.
In case you missed that, she says feeling like she has to say yes to everything that anybody ever asks
It's
her
an
to
age thing,
do.
though. You get better at it when you get older.
Stop making me cry, Mama. I can't.
So we lost Kate for a second. Jazz, that one of Jazz's that we just threw up there, though, that
I threw it up there but didn't read it.
today I care a lot less about getting into clothes that don't fit me instead of trying to stay small enough to fit into my clothes, because clothes are not alive. I am.
Oh, I'm throwing that back on the screen again. Stop making me sob, everybody. But keep doing it. Keep making me sob. Don't actually stop.
My dad says he still cares about too many things.
Oh,
Colby's is good too. These are great, you
yeah, I put
guys.
that one up. Yeah, sorry, I'm reading Bridget's
Yeah.
comment.
Yeah, I spent a lot of my life really trying to get people whose opinions I think are garbage to have a good opinion of me. You know what I mean? People who like a bunch of things that I don't like, but it mattered to me that they like me. And then I realized how ridiculous that is, because I don't like the things that they like, and I do like me. So why would I want? I figured that out like last month. That's how long it took. It's been a good time. About rules.
I'm just putting everyone's up today because these are all.
I wish I cared less about rules. I want to care less about rules.
Vicky, you are just my favorite. I love you.
Vicky, how did people know you and not realize how perfect you are? We have to agree on everything and try to convince people.
Okay, I have a very 4-y one to share. I care a lot less these days about like having this big, meaningful life with an incredible story. Like,
Colby and I are like,
what?
I said, oof, not there yet.
For yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we want to be you.
Oh, okay. No, I had this huge realization the other day that like I don't effing care. I just want to ride roller coasters, eat good food, drink amazing coffee, and be with the people I love. That's the life I want. That's it.
It's like the next level of my not wanting the people I don't like to like me. Then like you've gone to the roller coaster phase.
And you know what this
Inspired.
has inspired in me? Suddenly, I don't know why this is related, but suddenly getting there in my head has made me buy a lot of things to put wheels under my feet. I've been riding rollerblades and scooters, and I bought a skateboard.
I want to go
Don't tell
rollerblading.
Benjamin Cornelius that I did that, please. What?
I want to go rollerblading. I love
Nuh-uh.
rollerblading. Oh yeah, I love rollerblading.
Oh, you
it's like the
guys.
one thing my knees can do without having a hard time. great.
So
Okay, cool.
happy. Okay,
Good,
we're
good,
gonna go rollerblading. We'll talk to y'all
You
later.
can come.
Love you.
It's fine. Do we want to do one more? Or do we feel like this has gone on?
I'm having a lot of fun, so if we could
Let's
do
do
one more,
another
that'd
one?
be great.
We'll do
Yay,
this all
Robert.
day.
If somebody's... Oh, you are. You're stealing. Sorry, I went to put Robert.
This is good too. A risk I took that changed my life. ... Or a colon, whichever you prefer.
This is good. These are all...
Don't say that hanged my life. 'Cause that's
whoops.
a very not the same.
We need the C on that word very badly. Okay.
A risk I took that changed my life.
I love this very much.
Moving to San Diego.
Samesies. Which was 10 years ago this day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
Decade here.
Agreeing to sing on the Sojourn music team. That was a big one for me. Going to therapy.
Continuing to go back to therapy.
Continuing to go back to
Staying in
Ben says
therapy.
you're Staying in therapy.
Returning to therapy. That one changed my life too, Colby Mark.
That one changed a lot of people's lives. I just met some out and about last night.
Leaving church ministry.
Woo woo!
You are in the right place.
All the people doing church ministry in the room right
Are cheering for the person who Good job! Run for the hills!
Risky surgery to remove a tumor.
Oh, Haley. Woo woo! Oh, y'all are amazing. Where was the tumor?
That one, yeah, that's a
Wow.
big deal.
That's huge.
Woof.
Y'all,
Joining the Marines.
Y'all,
Joining the Marines.
you're amazing. You're amazing.
Going ahead and
just wanna
majoring in
cheer for everybody. Love you,
I'm snapping for
Jazz. Good work.
Unrelated things today.
Yeah, wow.
It was incredible.
Good job, y'all. Good risk taking. Coming to the United States for a temp consulting job at the consulate. This is a wonderful temporary stay that you're having.
Oh my God, Colby. Oh, he meant his hair, but it's still a very funny comment.
Is that your emo band
Hair.
name? That's great.
Although
Flat iron.
the heart thing might work actually if we flesh out that metaphor.
That's a great lyric.
I mean, you say you've never used a flat iron on major organs, but have you?
Marie!
Come on now.
Yes. Going to university, getting help with eating disorder, and traveling halfway across the world to teach in a country whose language I didn't even speak. Boom.
I feel like
All
we should
of
say,
them.
What did you do for every single one of these?
Talking about scary secrets is one of my favorite risks.
Amazing.
And one of the hardest ones, I think.
Yeah, I would say the biggest risk that I took that changed my life was just saying the hard truths that were inside to people that needed to hear them. I think that is.
I'd rather
always-
jump out of airplanes any day than talk about
than do
scary
that.
secrets.
Yep.
100%.
Yep.
Being born.
Oh my God, Shane. Well,
I mean, objectively, I would say that's probably true.
I am on
Actually, though,
Earth
like,
now.
none of us asked to be born, so
If you're not
choosing
born,
to
you
do
don't
life.
experience
Do
much
you
risk.
know how much time I spend in existential crisis around that? I get so mad. I did not choose to be
I mean,
here.
are we sure that we didn't choose? Because what if we do opt in, but then we have our memory wiped, and then
Speaking of
Okay,
existential
Severance.
crisis. I chose the spoilers, please. I'm in the middle of the season.
Don't.
I love that y'all are still answering the question. Keep going. You can keep answering the question as long as you want. Matthew wrote this song, and I love it because it doesn't happen for me often that someone else writes a song and I feel like it came out of some part of my soul that I didn't have access to. And I am, like, every time we sing this, I heal a little bit. That feels large, but it's true.
Yes, and for the record, I'm just gonna like ditto everything you just said for the 5th song today when we get to that.
So we're not
The
crying.
Mutual Admiration Society.
Okay? No one's crying.
This club is formed.
Had enough, but I was thinking of it. Had enough, but it was all I want. Fill me up because I need another. Fill my cup cause I can see the bottom. I will write it in my book of secrets. We collided, there's a million pieces. It's as delicate as dynamite. It's the hell of a firefight. And if we crawl away before the fire catches, we might escape with only superficial scratches. What occurred after the cannons loaded? Vision blurred after the bomb exploded. Doesn't hurt unless I try to remember. What's the word for giving up forever? Found a soft place that isn't hard yet. Found a fresh wound that hasn't scarred it. Let it bleed until my body heals it. Let me see, cause I can barely feel it. And we'll lay low until the danger passes. We could walk away with only superficial scratches. Had enough, but I was thinking of it. Had enough, but it was all I wanted. Maybe one day I can cope without it. Maybe even start thinking about it. But I wonder if our scars are perfect matches, or if you got away with only superficial scratches. Oh, oh,
You are still here with everything that has ever gone wildly wrong and everything that this brutal world and life has thrown at you. You are still here. And this morning, if you're anything like me, you might hear a person say that to you in a space like this, and your mind might immediately start arguing. Yeah, I'm here, but... And your mind might race with all of the reasons why it doesn't count. All of the reasons why you've really screwed this thing up, why you're not really all the way here.
I hear someone say, hey, look, you did it. You made it another week, so you did it. You're here, you're a survivor. And my mind starts racing with, yeah, but I'm still doing that thing that I keep swearing I won't do anymore. And I still haven't done that thing that I keep swearing I'm going to do. And I'm still royally screwing up this thing. And I'm still struggling with that thing, still, after all this time. And I'm just really actually just me, like I'm a mess. I'm here. Yeah, technically I'm breathing. Okay, it's not really an accomplishment. Okay. Do you ever do that? I just invite you this morning for just a moment to bring those arguments you have in your head, those racing thoughts you have about why your life maybe is kind of screwed up. Just let those come to the surface for just a minute. Like bring them out, like hold them out here for just a moment, and let me hold that with you, and let me speak to it for just a moment. Because I have something to say to it. So let yourself go there. Let yourself bring to the surface the things that you're doing, yeah, I'm here, but just bring that right here for just a moment. Hold it out for me so that I can speak to it. I see you. And I want to say this. What if those very things that you think mean, yeah, I'm here, but like I'm still screwing it all up, or I'm here, but my life still just totally sucks. What if those things are the very thing that just means that like you're a human who's alive? What if those things are the things that just mean like you're experiencing exactly what you're supposed to experience? And those very things are your opportunity to praise yourself for still being here. Yeah, you're still screwing it up. You're still forgetting to do that thing. You're still refusing to do that thing. You're still not showing up in a million ways. Congratulations, you are human. You're a human. And welcome to the very big club of other humans. Those things in your life that are wild and out of control, they're your freedom. They're the areas in life that mean like, look, you're not trapped in a box. You are free and wild, and you're just out there in the field, in the wilderness with all of us. Welcome. Welcome. Let's hold it all together out here. Let's not hide it in a dark corner where it can fester and make us believe that we aren't worthy of showing up. You're here. You're here today. You did it. You're breathing. You're alive. You made it one more week. With all of those things that make your life screwed up, you did it. You're here. You're here. Deep breath in. You are alive, and you are loved, and you belong. We're glad you're here today.
Well, Kate, you can no longer accuse just the song selection of being the thing that's ripping us apart this morning. That was beautiful. Have you ever felt like nobody was there? Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? Have you ever felt like you could disappear? Like you could fall and no one would hear?
We'll let the lonely feeling wash away. Maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay. 'Cause when you don't feel strong enough to stand, you can reach out your hand.
Someone will come running, and I know they'll take you home. 'Cause even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you,
When you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in as you reach up and you rise again. Lift your head and look around. You will be found. You will be found. There's a place where you don't have to feel alone. Every time that you call out, a little less alone. As if you only say the words, from across the silence, your voice is heard. Soon will come running as I know to take you home. Dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in as you reach up and you rise again. Lift your head and look around. You will be found. You will be found. Crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in as you reach up and you rise again. Lift your head and look around. You will be found. You will be found.
What a gift to have such beautiful people inside and out do what they do here and give what they give in this community. Thank you, Matthew, Ben, and Karen. Hey, if you forgot already, my name is Colby, and I'm one of the co-pastors here. If you joined us after the introduction up top, you are watching Sojourn Grace Collective's Virtual Church, and glad you're with us if you're here live, and if you're watching this back later, love that you set aside some time to be with us. I want to share some things today here with you for the next few moments, and it's really driven by the vision that we have for our church here at Sojourn Grace. And our vision is fostering wholeness, specifically spiritual, social, and emotional wholeness. And I submit to you that just as written, as spoken, that's kind of a high, like lofty, and sometimes a bit ambiguous statement, which is kind of sometimes the point of the vision statement, just big, bold wholeness, spiritual, social, emotional wholeness. And sometimes it's like, all right, but what does it actually mean? Today, I want to put a little bit of meat on those bones. Specifically, I want to share some thoughts around how I have and am still learning where the journey toward wholeness begins. Where the journey toward wholeness begins. And to do that, I'm going to pull together 4 short stories from the Gospels, because I think that part of what Jesus was doing in his teaching and in his life was actually helping to usher and move people toward wholeness. And I think, as you'll see here in a minute, even though these stories are, 2,000 years old, there's also a thing in them that is still true for our story today, and I think has been true for the story of humanity our entire existence, okay? So the first story is this. Number 1, we're going to start with a Roman centurion. And this is a new fun toy that I'm going to play with today. Story of a Roman centurion, the leader of some Roman soldiers, who had a beloved servant that fell ill, deathly ill. And so the story of this Roman centurion is that he sent some friends out to find Jesus, to see if Jesus would be willing to come and do a healing work on his servant. Somehow this centurion had heard about Jesus and thought, I love this servant of mine, last ditch effort. And so Jesus comes to this Roman centurion's house, but before he even gets to the house, the centurion sends out a few more friends to stop Jesus, to be like, the centurion guy doesn't even feel doesn't feel worthy of you coming to his house. So if you just even speak a word of healing from out here, then the servant will be healed. And sure enough, this is what happens in this story. The servant is healed. Story number 2. There's a story about a woman who has had this medical condition and had been bleeding for 12 years. So I'm going to call it number 2, woman stuck bleeding. And she had spent, as the story goes, all of her life saving, attempting to find some solution, some answer, some hope for this condition that she had, and to no avail for 12 years. But she manages into a crowd, finagle her way through to, the story says, just touch the hem of Jesus' garment, and suddenly her condition is healed, and her bleeding stops. Okay, that's story number 2. Number 3, we have a mother from Canaan, and I always have to double check where the double A's are, and it is the second set of A's, or the double A's. So this is a mother from Canaan. Now, the Canaanites have a long and rather contentious relationship with the Jewish people, and they were very much seen as this religiously other. Okay, so you had the Jewish people, and then you had the pagan Canaanites over there. But there's this mother who finds Jesus and begs Jesus to help heal her daughter of what she described as demon possession. And there's this fascinating interaction where Jesus says, well, no, I'm actually primarily, my focus is on the children of Israel. And the woman just does, nevertheless, she persisted. She's like, no, I need you to do something about my daughter. I need your help. Please have mercy upon me. And Jesus is like, whoa, okay, this is pretty impressive. And it manages to heal daughter. Okay, and then the 4th is, we're going to call this, number 4 is another woman called sinner. Woman called sinner is the 4th story. And this is really the only detail that the story gives us about this woman. And the story is this, that Jesus was dining at a Pharisee's house, and in comes this woman that the storyteller says was known by all to be a sinner. And this woman kneels at Jesus' feet and starts weeping and breaks open this expensive oil and starts to anoint Jesus' feet and dry it with her hair. This whole moment that the Pharisee who was hosting the whole dinner was pretty turned off by, how are you letting this happen? To which Jesus is like, actually, this is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. This is an incredible moment here, what's happening. And Jesus has he says this phrase to this woman, your sins are forgiven. Which for me can only be interpreted in one way in this story, which is to say, the label that your community has given you as sinner, I'm going to go ahead and just tell everyone to stop with that nonsense. You get to be, hey, Ben or Matthew, will you come whack this? The machine's causing buzz. Thank you. Buzz fixed. All right. So everyone stop calling this woman sinner and welcome her back into the community. Okay. So now these 4 stories for me all have something really interesting in common. And I think there's something that connects all 4 of these stories. And the connection is this. I'm actually going to go back here. There's a connection in these stories between faith and saved. I'm also going to put healed down here. Okay? There's a connection in these 4 stories between faith and being saved or healed. So for the Roman military leader, Jesus says, even in Israel, I haven't found faith like this. To the woman who was stuck bleeding, Jesus says, your faith has saved you. Go in peace. To the religiously other woman, Jesus says, you have great faith. Your daughter will be healed. And then finally, to the woman called sinner, Jesus says, your faith has saved you. Go in peace. There's this connection in these 4 stories between faith and saved or healed. Okay, now we might hear these stories, and we might have heard these stories in the past before. We might even today be hearing these stories, and we think the connection is this, that there is this powerful God somewhere out there. There's this powerful God who can snap God's divine digis and blammo, like the person who has the right faith. Thanks for the little snicker at divine digis over there. I was hoping somebody...
How was that blammo?
Oh, as a blammo. So this is how we often hear these stories, right? There's a God out here who has the ability, the capacity, the power to do the healing work, but it takes a certain kind of faith. If you have the right faith, the right time, then look at you, you get to be saved, or you get to be, blammo, you get to be healed, you're good to go. This explanation kind of blows for me. I'm gonna be honest with you. Not a big fan of this take on these stories. Why not? Thank you for asking. Two reasons that come to mind for me. One is it gives a picture of a God who can just heal whenever, but sort of selectively chooses when to do that. And then two, it puts all this pressure on us to have the right kind of faith, to believe the right sort of things, or to believe hard enough, whatever it is. So I am not a big fan of this sort of explanation of what these stories are saying. But, listen, I don't want to just criticize a thing without offering an alternative way to think about these stories. So here's what I want to offer you. When I read these 4 stories, here's what I notice. I notice that there are people that are at the end of their rope. When I read these 4 stories, I see 4 people who are just at the end. They've tried, they've waited, they have exhausted, and they're just done. Think about the Roman centurion. He was a part of the world's most powerful empire. So I might say underneath here that the Roman centurion had all of the political power at his disposal. And who does he turn to? He turns to this random rabbi from this other people group to come and help. Think about the woman who spent everything looking for answers. You might say that she has exhausted all of her money and all of her hopes on science, only to be left with nothing but an empty bank account and a continual medical condition. To the mother from a different religion whose daughter needed help, you might say that she had reached the end of her faith in religion. She tried to do all the right things and say all the right things to her gods, and in the end of it, had to go elsewhere, at the end of herself. And then for the woman who is called sinner, you might even say that there's a sense in which her own society and culture let her down. That within this framework, she was just basically given another label, another box, and said, this is who you are. Don't try and get out of this. So I read these stories, and it occurs to me that these are people that are exhausted from the perpetual disappointments and the hardships of life, and the way that these systems, whether it's politics or money or science or religion or society and culture, left them at the end sort of still in want, still in need. And then I also read these stories, and it occurs to me, not only do these stories sort of all have a similar sense of people being at the end of themselves, but there is this unique interplay between faith and saved. And I'm going to get to more of that in a minute. But as I think about this, I realize there's also something that connects this to my life. Like these stories, I can relate to these stories in my own life. I too have known what it's like to realize that politics have sort of a limited capacity for ultimate wellness and well-being. I too know what it's like to find myself let down by the medical world, or to find that money both seems to there never to be enough and also never to be the solution anyway. I also know what it's like to feel like religion is just a perpetual disappointment. When you think you just have to believe the right things and all will go well for you, and then it doesn't go well for you and you just try harder. And I also know what it's like to be told by your community, you suck, you're not welcome here, go away. This is what we think about you. So I can relate, like I know what this is like. I can feel this in my own body. I can experience, I can look back on my life and I kind of know what it's like to feel at the end of my rope with all of these different dynamics. And so for me, this connective tissue is this, that we read these stories or we live these stories and we get this point where we experience the limitations of our environment in such a way that it exposes the fragility of our humanity. Let me say that again. We experience the limitations of our environment, be it politics, scientific medical community, money and resources, religion, culture and society. The limitations of these environments expose the fragility of our own humanity. If our ultimate hope is in a particular political party or having the right kind of physical health, or if our hope is in our bank account or our religion or our community, then someday, at some point, and maybe many times over, we're going to find ourselves frustrated, disappointed, disillusioned, cynical. Okay, now, let me say a quick word about how each of the people in these stories respond. And with the story with the three women, there is a moment that they are described as kneeling. Suddenly drew a blank on how to spell kneeling. And then the Roman soldier, as I referenced a minute ago, felt they were so unworthy to have someone come into their home like Jesus that they sent people to go meet them. Like, I don't even deserve you coming into my roof. And so I'm going to write here humility. So this is like, there's this posture, there's this response that these characters have in these stories. Now, I think Christians historically have read these stories as though they illustrate the supremacy of Christianity. Which is to say, we have often heard these four stories and we're like, oh, these four characters, they fell down at the feet of Jesus. They worship, because this Greek word here for kneeling is proskuneo, which can also be translated as worship. So these were characters that worshiped Jesus, that basically converted to the correct religion. And when we read it like this, we end up thinking, oh, well, then this explains sort of why Jesus says your faith has healed you. And so you end up thinking Jesus is like applauding people for becoming good Christians. But can I just point out something here really quick? Not only is like being a Christian not even a thing in these stories. Okay, so like the idea of being a Christian didn't even at minimum come until after the death and resurrection of Jesus. At minimum. But you could even argue, like even later on down the road, was the idea of being a Christian even a thing. So to be a Christian in these stories wasn't even a thing. There wasn't even a moment of conversion to some sort of correct religion, okay? Not only is that not a thing, but none of these people in these stories offered any sort of, how do you want to say this? Attestation to a doctrinal position. None of these characters professed any kind of belief in terms of like a doctrinal statement in order. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, these can't be stories about people becoming the right kind of Christian, because Christianity didn't even exist. And none of these stories hinge on a belief statement. None of these stories hinged on a belief statement. What seemed to impress Jesus, at least as I read these stories, is that each person that came had this posture of humility, this posture of openness. They had this sense of, I can't figure this thing out on my own. But even more than that, my religion has failed me. My own political party has failed me. My society has failed me, which could include friends and family. Scientific inquiry has failed me. The economy of money has failed me. At the end of the day, it's like these people said, all I have is me. And it's not much, but I surrender. I surrender. This is all I have. So one way to describe their posture. It's just with this one word here. Whoops. I didn't like the way that T came out. Trust. I feel like this is like the word that sort of encapsulates a trust that if there's any hope for me or for the people that I love, the trust is now realizing that it is going to be beyond them. It's beyond. You might even say, and I workshop this phrase quite a bit, let me know what you think. You might even say that they let go and let God. I don't know if that'll catch, but if it does, maybe we can make some t-shirts or something. Now, I'm not going to pretend to know what is meant in each of these stories by the account of the various healings. Okay, that's not what today's talk is. I have no idea. Did it really happen? Was there really a centurion servant who was like suddenly healed the moment that Jesus spoke a word from outside the house? I don't know. Did the woman who had been bleeding for 12 years really just immediately stop bleeding? I don't know. Did the Canaanite's daughter who was demon possessed just suddenly I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that sort of mystical, magical stuff does happen. Or maybe there's like a psychiatric or psychological explanation about some sort of emotional or spiritual healing. Maybe that is what is going on. Or maybe these were just exaggerated stories that developed around the legend of Jesus as a way for people to try and name what it was like to be in his presence. Look, I don't know. It's not the point here for me. But what I find interesting, especially in the stories where Jesus says, your faith has saved you, I find interesting is this. I'm going to write that on your, just a reminder, faith has saved. Your faith has saved you. The Greek word that translated as saved here is this Greek word sozo. And sozo has a range of meanings. It can be rescued, it can be restored, it can be saved, and it can also be made whole. I'm running out of room. Be made whole. Sozo can mean to be made whole. And then in the other two stories where the translation was healed, the word for healed is the Greek word iomai, which is heal and, check this out, be made whole. Both of these words, iomai and sozo, both have within them this concept of wholeness, of being put back together, of being put to rights, of being restored. And then this will be familiar to some of our maybe longtime sojourners, but the Greek word translated here for faith is the Greek word, one of my favorite Greek words, pistis. You can say that at home if you would like, pistis. And as I've said many times over the years, maybe a better way to translate pistis, because this word faith in our culture and our religion has so much connective baggage around the idea of believing the right things. Maybe a better way that encapsulates what pistis is to think of it in terms of trust. Trust. Pistis means trust. And I was thinking about it like this. If you think about faith as a belief, then a belief stand is to stand upright and have someone behind you and believe in your heart of hearts that if I were to fall back, they would catch me. But you don't actually fall. You just stand there and believe. And it's a really nice, comforting belief. If I fall back, they will catch me. That's like really nice, okay? But it's not the same thing as a what? Trust fall, thank you. It was a little more hard when it's digital, but at least Karen's paying attention. A trust fall is when you actually do the thing, like you're actually fall. I should have really practiced. That's what that was like. When you actually fall back. And to me, pistis is a trust fall, not a belief stand. Faith is an action. This is why I often say, look, think about faith more as a verb than a noun. It's not so much something you possess, like a set of beliefs, but faith is action. It's the actual putting into motion the thing. It is the movement. It is this trust. It is this posture of, well, here I go. This is all I got. Nah. So this, I submit to you, your pistis has sozoed you. Your trust your posture of openness, you're coming to the realization that the things that you had cast your hope upon to save you, politics, science, money, religion, ultimately are going to bring you to a point of realization that that's not it. And when you get to that point, what's left? This is all I got nothing. It's this posture. You could think of it as kneeling. You could think of it as humility. You could think of it as trust. It's just this, I got nothing. I'm just here and I trust. Marcus Borg talks about faith as trusting that the whole is good, and the whole is capital, it's whole. Trusting that the whole, my pen has stopped working. Trust that the whole is good. Trust that the divine being that is in and through all, it is good, and trusting in that. So the pistis that sozoed these characters was this trust that led to their salvation, this trust that led to their healing, this trust that led to their wholeness. And this pistis, it begins with a deep place of vulnerability and weakness. You don't get to this kind of trust without first deep vulnerability and an acknowledgement of your weakness. When you've got nothing left, when you feel totally broken and lost and burned out and left behind, like this is actually where the healing and the wholeness can be found. And that's what I want to say today, is that the path to wholeness begins with weakness. The path to wholeness begins with weakness. So if this sounds like you today, or if this sounded like you last week, or just hang tight, this will sound like you in a couple weeks, I'm sure. And you just feel like you're at the end of yourself, totally stretched and spent and done, then what I hope to offer you is this word of encouragement that you might actually be in the ideal place for salvation, for sozo, for finding rescue, restoration, and wholeness. And this isn't the kind that is an escape from this world. This isn't sticking your head in the sand and ignoring the reality of everything going on. This is a kind of rescue, a kind of salvation, a kind of healing that is actually about wholeness. And so may we, friends, may we trust that our wholeness is not a result of never being broken, but our wholeness is about being put back together again after every single time that we break. I'm going to ask Matthew and Karen and Ben if they'll come and sing this song that Ben and Karen wrote a few weeks ago in the context of our Lent series. And they were singing it during warm-up this morning. And I said, y'all, that is the perfect song to go with this message today. Will you please move it to the end of the service? So now take all of the things that maybe has come up for you about the idea of the journey towards wholeness begins with weakness. And may you receive and hear this song as a gift this morning.
I bless the way you hold your tongue. Find the room you're in, just staying a listening one. I bless the way you change your mind. Find the thoughts you're holding on, the healing kind. I bless the way you close the door. The house that used to hold you isn't shelter anymore. I bless the way you leave behind. Know there's something good out there you gotta go and find. Don't you let anyone turn you around. Now you know getting lost is the way you get found. Is the way you get found. I bless the courage in your doubt, the stubborn way to choose the truths you haven't figured out. I'm gonna do that again. I bless the courage in your doubt, the stubborn way you chase the truths you haven't figured out. I bless the patience in your grief, when it's pushing you to rise and when it's pulling you beneath. I bless the way you carve your name, the gate kept in a sanctums when they said you couldn't stay. I bless the way you make a home, wild and in the weary, in the precious white unknown. Don't you let anyone turn you around. Now you know getting lost is the way you get found. Don't you let anyone turn you around. Now you know getting lost is the way you get found. Is the way you get found. Whoa. Don't you let anyone turn you around. Now you know getting lost is the way you get found. Don't you let anyone turn you around. Now you know getting lost is the way you get found. Is the way you get found.
It's always time to eat donuts.
Don't you know getting lost
Don't you know?
is the way
Don't you know?
Now you
They know.
to be found?
This is what happens if I like stand straight. With this.
Yeah, same.
Uh,
We do squats back here. In case y'all didn't know, every Sunday we're squatting.
oh, squish.
There's legs and feet everywhere.
If this is one of your first times to this virtual church experience, we do communion at the end of our gathering every week, and we invite you to grab whatever you have on hand because the elements are not the point. They're not the point. Okay? They're not the point. There are many other points, and one of them is not having the correct bread and the correct thing in your cup. Okay? Today,
unleavened bread
does not have to be. That's correct. Today we are
Pick your poison.
using these.
Why do people say that? Why do people say pick your poison? Why would you pick your poison?
I don't know.
Where's that
Why would
come from?
anyone choose apple? Why would you choose app poison, let alone one amongst many poisons?
I've never had a jelly donut hole in my whole life.
It's pretty exciting. So these donut holes come from
my
your
goodness.
parental units.
They do. We should
that
pass them
are
over to them. They
on the
should-
other
they
side of
can
the
have some.
camera.
Hi, units.
Absolutely. Let me grab one.
Yeah.
Then you can give it to the units. So let us know in the comment section what you're using.
I feel good
this
about my
morning.
parents being referred to as the unit. That was weird.
You do or don't?
No,
She
I don't
does
like
not.
it.
She does not.
That's
Also weird
fair.
one.
All right. As you take, would you please know that you are you are whole?
Oh,
Jesus.
it came full circle, if you know what I mean.
It is Jesus.
This is my life, people.
It shows all of us.
Ben, are you a bite the donut hole person? You did your donut hole in 2 bites instead of just like one.
Same.
You
Because
too?
I had the pun going, so
You put the whole thing in your mouth, right?
That was like a blueberry.
Me too.
That was like a blueberry donut hole. That was exciting.
As long as we're together.
And then take what you have for your cup. We've got coffee made upstairs. And as you take, would you know that that old story about God being distant and you got to do the right thing to get that God to be cool with you is a story that we
bad story.
actively rebel against as never having been true. And so as you take this cup, would you know that you have never been disconnected from the divine? Take and receive.
I'm laughing about God being cool with you.
No. Did it
That
make a
was-
song come into
That
your
was
head?
great. It didn't. I don't know the song, but I'm excited to know.
Jesus just alright with me.
Oh my word.
I don't care what people say.
Hey everyone, we have a couple house notes.
House.
I love Wesley in that video so much.
And the first house note, I don't know, the first house note, is it anywhere?
Notes?
Ah, there it is. Yes, it is the Joy Box. Woo! This is our invitation for you. If you believe in our mission here, if you support the vision, this
Which
idea
kind of belief? Standing there, believe, or
well, honestly,
trust
just
fall
the belief stand doesn't do much good. It doesn't actually transfer any funds from your account to ours. Just believing in our mission. Thank you, Kate.
The trust
If you-
transfer. that
that's
you're
right.
looking
If
for?
you would like to actually
Transfer.
pistis our organization,
that did not land well with
then we
me.
invite you to legitimately fall.
How do people still come to this? Like,
I don't know. I
I'm
legit
surprised
don't
Kate's
know.
still sitting there sharing. Just walk off. Just a walk off.
y'all are good humans.
Thank you for your support in our organization, in our church, in our efforts here to foster wholeness and to be a safe landing place for people who have hit the end of their rope in some of the aforementioned categories. Have realized what is like. I'm so disillusioned. I'm so burned out. And this community for 8 years now has been this soft landing place, and it's because of people who believed, who have trusted in this mission enough to support it. And so, thank you. If that's you and you want to participate with us, we invite you to do that. The other note. Did you see, by the way, did you see the text from our board chain?
Yeah. Happy birthday, Stephen.
Happy birthday to the chair of our board,
We
Stephen.
love you. We know you're not watching today, which is good.
Yeah.
Way to have healthy boundaries.
Yeah.
Wait,
Stop
what?
it.
No, I'm just kidding.
God, go. You don't get to do
Nobody caught me. Nobody caught me.
Good God.
Happy birthday, Stephen. We love you.
Happy
Thank
birthday,
you for all you
Stephen.
do.
We love you.
for this
You're
community.
amazing.
The other thing to say about this is next week we have a very
big
exciting announcement and house note to share
Did y'all
with you
know
next
that
week.
Colby loves the part where we say there's going to be an announcement? He loves that more than the actual
Yeah. The
announcement.
I like
the
the
announcement.
the build up to the thing more than the actual.
He's very happy right now.
But next week, so please, and it's related to the many questions that we've been receiving over the last few weeks and
What
months
is
about
Sojourn doing?
what's our plan here.
What the heck is
What's our
Sojourn
plan here?
doing?
Such a good question.
We've been
It's
doing
a
this
fair,
for
good
months
question.
and months and
And
months.
we have been trying to, as you've been talking about this, we've been wanting to honor all of the factors at play. We've been really
There's a lot of
trying
them.
to hold all of the things.
Listen,
at play.
recovering
So
from a
that's next week.
pandemic is not actually a quick, easy thing.
Nope.
Despite what the world tries to tell us
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that that Sojourn has like given us, because yes, a lot of questions, but also have you noticed that people are just chill about it? Like how beautiful is that we have a community that's like, yeah, of course we would be like going slowly and trying to figure this out because of course.
Because of course. All right. So lovely to have you with us
Cameron.
today.
Yes. Yes, Cameron.
This is
That's-
our benediction
Oh.
that
We're on that.
Oh, what did you want to do something else?
We're
Okay,
good. We're good. I
Great.
was just telling Cameron yes to
Great,
Cameron's
lovely.
question.
So this is our invitation to you to go forth into your week with bravery because you are a loved child of God, and also to go out with kindness because everyone else is also a loved
Don't push
child
people
of
off
God.
of chairs this week.
Unless there's someone there to catch them.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so we will invite someone back.
Yay!
Because you're a child of God.
Be kind.
Because so is everyone else.
That was the units.
Love you all. Have a good week. Bye.